So here I'm going to explain the second program, that is order database. And in this order database, we have three tables: salesman, customer, and orders. Okay, these are the three tables which you have to create. Now, first thing is identify the primary key and the foreign key in these tables. When I say salesman, here we have attributes like salesman ID, name, city, and commission, right? Using salesman ID, I can identify the individual tuple and the salesman relation. That's why I'll take salesman ID as the primary key. And then in the second one, customer, again customer ID we have given. That means using that identification number, we can uniquely identify the customer. Okay, so in customer table, customer ID will be the primary key. And in orders, again order number, which is the unique number we can use to get individual orders. So order number can be a primary key in this table. Now how these are related? If I see this customer table, we have a salesman ID, right? So it says the salesman and customer are related using salesman ID attribute. Okay, so salesman ID becomes the foreign key because it is the primary key of salesman. So I'll make this as a foreign key which refers salesman table. And in orders, we have customer ID and salesman ID. See, these two attributes are the primary keys of different entity types, right? Customer or the salesman. So, make this customer ID as the foreign key, which refers customer, and salesman ID as the foreign key, which refers salesman. Okay, so like this, you need to identify primary key and the foreign keys. Now, the next is draw the ER diagram for this. So salesman, customer, orders. So these are the entity types. Because you have seen for each uh, entity type, we have a primary keys, right? So we make this as an entity type. Here orders is not the verb. Okay, you don't take it as verb because in your SQL there is a keyword order, like order by you are using, right? So when you create the table, don't create the table with the name order. It will not accept because order is one of the clause. Order by you are writing. So order is one of the keyword. So that's why to just to use different word, we write order in plural. When we say entity type name, see, you should not use the plural things like customers will not write, only customer or salesman. But here I cannot put order because order is one of the keywords. That's why I'm taking here as orders. And then how these are related. So salesman, he sells some items or the products to the customer, and salesman takes the order and customer receives the order. Now, what is the cardinality here? A salesman can sell any number of any number of orders to customers. So one is to many, and salesman takes a number of orders. Customer receives a number of orders. So that's why here all these are one to many relationships. Now, what are the attributes you have to add to these entity types? In salesman, we have salesman ID, name, city, and commission. In customer, customer ID, customer name, city, and grade. Here you can see salesman ID, but don't put that in the customer. It is a property of salesman. Okay. Similarly, for orders, in the schema they have mentioned uh, customer ID and salesman ID, but these are the properties of salesman and customer. So that's why here we'll put only purchase amount, order number, and order date. Okay, so is that clear? So how you can write the entity relationship diagram? So just note down what all the entity types and how they are related. So, using some verb you can connect, or some description you can connect these entity types. Then comes schema diagram. So already we have identified what is the primary key in each table and what all the foreign keys. Okay, so salesman ID, it is referring salesman table. So in customer table you have to add foreign key salesman ID. Then in orders, customer ID is one of the foreign key. It is referring customer table and salesman ID referring salesman table. Okay, so like this you can show the schema diagram. Oh, so what is the next thing? You have to create a tables. Here, first we'll create a salesman table and take all the attributes, mention all the attributes. So SID is the primary key. So write primary key constraint over here. And name, it is varchar type and we'll put not null constraint. So that means when you are inserting the values, you have to specify or you have to provide the value for name attribute. Then city and commission. Commission, you can take it as a decimal type. Then customer table, create a customer table and the orders table. But make sure that when you're using SID, when you're defining SID in customer or orders, the data type must match with the salesman's SID. Okay, it must be of integer type and with the same size. And similarly, customer ID in orders, it must match with customer ID in customer table. The data type must match. And then here, the primary key is order number. Then you take purchase amount as decimal and order date as date data type. Then your customer ID and salesman ID. Okay, so first you create these three tables. Now once you create these tables, uh, you need to, if you are using WAMP server and your storage engine is not InnoDB, then that you have to set. I have already told when you are adding the foreign key, you have to make sure that for each table the storage engine is InnoDB. Okay, that you can check in the PHP MyAdmin editor or the window. Then add the foreign keys now. First, we'll add foreign key to the customer table. Okay, so the syntax, I hope you remember because you have already executed the first program. There also we have added so many foreign keys, right? So here, alter table, mention the table name, that is customer table, add constraint and give some name to that constraint. Then use the foreign key uh, word, okay, foreign key of SID. So this SID is there in your customer table and it references salesman of SID. So this is the attribute which is there in your salesman table, okay, and you can use the option on delete set null. So this is one of the action performed when there is a constraint violation. Okay, on delete set null. Now what happens if I set on delete set null? What happens if I delete any of the row which is there in salesman table, then all referring tuples in the customer, okay, all referring tuples in the customer will be updated, like for SID column it will be updated with null value. Okay, it will not delete the entire row from the customer, but it will set null value for foreign key attribute. So this way you can use on delete set null. And similarly in orders, we have two foreign keys. One is customer ID, another one is salesman ID. Here also you can set on delete. Here instead of set null, we are using on delete cascade. Now what happens here? If I say on delete cascade means, suppose if I delete any of the customer, okay, customer, and that customer ID is there in your orders table, okay, in that case the tuple which is having the customer ID will get deleted from orders first and then from the customer. And here in the second one, if I remove or if I delete any salesman, so first it will check whether orders table is having that salesman ID. So the corresponding tuple will get deleted and then it deletes the salesman tuple which is matching with that ID. Okay, so recursively it will delete. On delete cascade means it will recursively it will delete. So first it will delete from child table and then it will go to your parent table or the master table. From there it will delete. But in the first one, customer, we have set on delete set null. We don't want to delete the customer information. We want to retain the customer information. Okay, only SID column we have to make as null value. So that's why on delete set null. Instead of deleting that, we'll just uh, set the value as null. Okay. Now the next thing is these are the table structures. Okay, we can see how table is created after using the create table command. So we have SID, name, city and commission, and these are the data types of each attributes. And here you can see SID is a primary key. And in customer, see customer ID is the primary key and salesman ID is the foreign key. And similarly here in the orders table, we have order number as primary key and then CID and SID, that is your customer ID and salesman ID. So these will become the foreign keys. Okay, we have added these as the foreign keys, so it is showing MUL in the key column. Now insert the values to these tables. Use the insert command and add the values. So first we are inserting the values to salesman. See, when you are inserting the values, you make sure that if there is any like foreign keys are there, then you have to see that first you have to insert the values to the master table. See, if you go for inserting the values to the customer first, then in customer we have a salesman ID, which is the foreign key, right? So that's why we cannot insert the value to the customer. Okay, either or else you have to make in customer table SID values as null you have to set. Instead of that, first you insert the values to salesman, which does not have any foreign key, and then now you insert the value to customer, and here for the SID column you have to take the values which are there in salesman table. Okay, like 1000, 2000, 3000 we have specified. So those are there in the salesman table. And then for the orders, again here you have to give customer ID and then you have to specify the salesman ID. Again make sure that referential integrity constraint is satisfied or it is maintained. Okay, so CID equal to here 10, 13, 14, 12. So those values are there in your customer table. Okay, 10, 12, 13, 14. So these values are there. Don't put 15 or 16, which does not exist in the customer table. Okay, so like this you can insert the values. Now what is the next step? Now you have to execute the queries. Okay, you have to execute the queries. So here the first query says count the customers with grades above Bangalore's average. Okay, above Bangalore's average means first what we have to check grades. How we have assigned? We have assigned grades as A, B, C, D or something single letters. Okay. Now if I take the customers with grades above Bangalore's average means first I should know what is Bangalore's average. Correct? First I need to get what is Bangalore's average and that need to be compared. So that's why here we'll write, first we will just display what is the grade in ASCII value. Okay, what is the grade in ASCII value? So if I take ASCII of grade, then it will display in the numerical format. Okay, so A corresponds to 65, ASCII value of A is 65 and C is 67, D is 68, B is 66, like that. Now our query is we need to get the count of the customers with grades above this Bangalore's average. Now first you need to take average of Bangalore. There are three tuples which are having uh, city equal to Bangalore. Okay. Now first you find out what is the average of Bangalore. Okay, so here in the we are using the nested queries here. So first you find out select average of ASCII of grade from customer where it equal to Bangalore. So this will give you the average of Bangalore. And then we need to check the number of customers with grades above this average, right? Now here whether A is having a highest grade or B compared to these letters, which one is having higher grade, whether A or B? So A is having the higher grade, right? When we write like in ABCD like that, if you write, then A is having more or higher grade. But ASCII value is 65. Correct. ASCII value is 65 and B's ASCII value is 66. Now if I want to compare with this, okay, with the ASCII value of this, then here in the comparison we have to write less than. Okay, we have to write less than. Then it will give you the count with grades above Bangalore's average. Because we are comparing the ASCII value of this, that's why instead of writing greater than, because here it is asked above, but instead of writing greater you have to write less than. Okay, so select the count of the customer from this table where the grade, so I am taking the ASCII value of this grade which is less than the average grade of Bangalore. Okay, so now here we'll get two customers for having grade above this Bangalore average. Actually, if you execute only this part, the nested query part, you'll get something like 66 point some value. Okay, 66 point something. Okay, now you just check which is having more than this 66.6. Is there any which is less than that 66.5 or something? I have 65 over here and then 66. Okay, but the remaining three we're having 67, 68, 68, which is greater than 66.7 or something. That's why in the result we'll get count as 2. Only 2 customers have their grades above Bangalore's average. Okay, the second one, find the name and numbers of all salesmen who had more than one customer. Okay, find the name and numbers of all salesmen who had more than one customer. So what we have to do here, we need to take the salesman ID and name. Number means it is the salesman ID. Okay, salesman ID and name we have to display, and we need to check the number of customers for this salesman must be greater than 1. Okay, so now how to get this? So we'll write select SID from customer group by SID. When I group according to SID and if I take the count, then I can compare the count with any other number. I am checking that count whether that count is greater than 1. Okay, for that I need to group the tuples according to the salesman ID. So that we will do in the inner query. Okay, so the inner query will give you the different SIDs from the customer table where they are having the count greater than 1. And now here will display the SID and name if that SID is matching with any of this value. So we'll get only 2 tuples according to this query. So this is the result of this query. Okay, I'll just show you the result later, like how you can execute these queries or what is the result of these queries. I'll show you later. Then the next one is list all salesmen and indicate those who have and don't have customers in their cities. And explicitly they have told you have to use the union operation. Okay, you have to use the union operation. Now first we'll take the salesmen who have the customers in their city. Okay, so how to get the salesmen who have customers in their city means like city of customer and salesman must match. Okay, city of customer and city of salesman must match. So we'll take salesman ID. Okay, and here I'm just renaming this attribute. Okay, just as instead of displaying SID, I'm giving alias or renaming this attribute. So in the result it is showing salesman underscore ID. Okay, so we are using aliases here. Then salesman name, and then if the city is matching, then we'll display the customer name and their city. Okay, here salesman and customer both are having the same city name. Okay, so that's why only once I'll display this city name. And from which table we are fetching these information? From salesman and customer, and join these two tables. This is the joining condition. SID S dot SID equal to C dot SID, and city of salesman and city of customer must match. Okay, so this is one part. And in the second one, here we have to take the salesman details who don't have customers in their cities. Okay, so again here we'll take SID, salesman ID, name, and then customer name. And instead of displaying the city, if I display city means that there is no difference, like whether it is showing result for salesmen who don't have the customers in their cities or they have customers in the city. So that's why here I'll just change this column, just I'll put no match. Okay, so if the cities are not matching, then I'll not display the city of salesman. Instead, I'll put no match. And then the condition, again joining condition, and here you can see the city must not match, right? So this is the not equal comparison. Okay, so this is equal to and this is not equal to. So if I write like this, then it is not equal to. Now take the union of these two queries, because they have told you have to take the union. So first query, enclose that within bracket or the parenthesis, then use the union operator and write the second query. Again that should be within the parenthesis and then end the statement. Okay, now you can see the result. So for these two, okay, for these two customers like Preeti and Chetan, and the salesman is 1000 and 2000, John or Ravi. So here these two people are residing in same city. Okay, so banker. So city is matching. And for Ravi and Chetan also it is matching. But the remaining three, so the John, Ravi and Kumar, they have the customer but not in their city. Okay, city is different. That's why it is showing no match for these three rows. Then, okay, the fourth one, create a view that finds the salesman who has the customer with the highest order of a day. Now, what is the question? First, you understand the question properly. We need to create a view. Okay, view means virtual table. And in that virtual table, what we have to do, we have to show the information like it finds the salesman who has the customer with the highest order of a day. That means for each day, if you have in the orders table, for each day, if you have more than one tuple, then you have to see maximum purchase amount. Okay, so highest order means maximum purchase amount per each day you have to see. And they're telling you how to display the salesman id. Okay, so you have to get the salesman id for that day. Now, if I see the current state of the order table, here all these state values are distinct, right? There is no repetition. That means if you execute, you will get all these values like 5,000, 450, 1,000, 3,500 and 550. Because there is no multiple orders, more than one order per day. Now what I will do here is I'll add two more tuples to this. Okay, in the earlier case, I have shown like multiple tuples I have added at a time, right? But here, I'll add two tuples to this order table so that I can have, for the same day, I can have more than one order. Now here you can say I have taken 2017 May 4. Okay, so I'm just adding one more tuple and here value is uh, 3500. And similarly, I'll take another tuple and I'll take the date value as 2018 3 9. So I'm taking it as 1000. Now if I take this day, per this day, what is the maximum? Maximum must be 5000. And who is having this order? SID 1000. So that we have to create now. We have to create a view which shows for 4 May 2017, SID 1000 is having highest order. Okay, and for 2018 3 9, which one is highest? Okay, 1000 is the highest, right? So here for this day, the SID 2000 is having the, sorry, SID 3000. Okay, SID 3000 is having the highest order. So like this, we have to display the result. Now I have added two more tables to this and create the view. Now how we can create the view here? Create view command and give the name to that view, and here you can change the attribute name. Okay, so by default it will take the table which you are using to define this view. Okay, like for orders or salesman, whatever is there, whatever attribute name you have used in orders or salesman, that will appear in the view. But if you want to change that name, that you can specify after writing the view name. So view name is highest order per day, and in that I am taking salesman ID, salesman name and day. And what is the definition of this view? So it has to fetch the highest order per day, right? Select SID because I need to take SID here, the name of the salesman and order date. And these information we are fetching from orders and salesman, because salesman name is not there in your orders table. That's why we need to take orders and salesman. And right, SID is the common, right? So just we can use the natural join. The name of the attribute is same, that's why we can use natural join. So select SID name order date from orders, natural join salesman. What is the condition now? Condition is you have to say per day purchase amount must be maximum. Okay, so here I'll take the tuples over here in the condition. Instead of comparing single attribute, I'm taking multi-set. Okay, purchase amount and order date. In means it will compare with the values which which obtained from this which are obtained from this query. Now in the inner query we are fetching maximum purchase amount with respect to the order date. Okay, maximum purchase amount with respect to order date. So as I said, if you have a repeated date, order date, then you have to see in those corresponding tuples which tuple is having maximum purchase amount. Okay, and that value will be added to the result. So after creating this view, now if you display that view, you'll get this result. Okay, so actually you had how many here? 7 tuples are there, but 2 dates are repeating, right? They are repeated in the table. 2 dates. One is this one 2017 5 4 and 2017 5 4, and one more is 18 3 9. Okay, so in this maximum is 1000, and in this the first one it is 5000. Okay, so we'll get SID 1000 and his name, salesman name, and then the date. Okay, so for each state we'll get the maximum, uh, like who has the maximum order. So his name and salesman ID will be displayed in the result. Okay, so this is the third one, and then fourth one, this is okay, this is the fourth one. Then here this is just a step I have written step 3. Just you have to show after creating the view, if you want to display the content means you have to use the select query again. Okay, select star from mention the view name, so it will show you the result. And then the last one is demonstrate the delete operation by removing salesman with ID 1000. See, make sure that whatever value you give here, whether that is there in your salesman table or not, that you have to see. Okay, otherwise you'll get empty set. Now here 1000 is there already. Now another condition they have mentioned, all his orders must also be deleted. You remember when we wrote foreign key constraint, we have mentioned on delete cascade in the orders table, right? That means whenever I delete salesman tuple, then all his orders must be deleted from the orders table. That's why on delete cascade we have taken in a foreign key. Now this is the salesman table before the deletion. Okay, so here I have the first tuple is 1000, John, Bangalore, and 25. And what we are deleting? We are deleting the salesman whose salesman ID is 1000. That means this tuple must be get deleted. Okay, so after the deletion, you can see here this is the result after the deletion. Only 4 tuples are there. 1000 is not there in this. Okay, it got deleted. Now because you have given on delete cascade and on delete set null in the customer, automatically it will do this operation. Okay, see here, for the first two tuples in customer, SID is 1000. Okay, SID is 1000. So after this deletion, I have used on delete set null, correct? So it will not delete this entire tuple. Instead of that, for SID column, it will set the value as null. Okay, it will set the value as null for the SID column. And in case of orders table, they have told all his orders must be deleted, right? So you just see who is having which tuple is having ID as 1000. So the first one. Okay. So this must be deleted from orders. So after the deletion, you can see the first tuple is not there. It got deleted. Okay, so these are the 5 queries which you have to execute in this program.